Hey guys, Iros here, welcome back to a new Delta Force video. Now guys, as you may well be aware, Delta Force currently features a very extensive extraction operations game mode, as well as a warfare mode, which has like many different modes like King of the Hill or defend and attack, or just regular conquest. And do you think, let us know down in the comments at the very start of the video, do you think this is enough for the game to really sort of live long and prosper, sort of thing, last the sands of time and all that? Because quite recently I've been seeing on Twitter or X or YouTube or Discord and stuff a lot of people asking for Battle Royale mode to be added to the game. Now obviously a lot of other games have had success with Battle Royale. You've got Warzone, you've got PUBG, you've got Call of Duty. Obviously Call of Duty is Warzone, but I was more aiming at mobile. But do we really think it would need a Battle Royale mode in the game? And that's what I want to discuss with you today. The pros and cons of actually adding that to the game itself. Now, before we get into it, guys, can you please like down below? I do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. Not miss any update videos, guides, gun builds, etc. And of course, me live streaming. So make sure you do that before we get into it. Now guys, the developers of Delta Force have been quite vocal with responding to the community comments, the comment back on X, and Shadow, the lead developer, I think he's the lead developer, or at least one of the main ones anyway, does ask Shadow anything live streams or videos where he answers the community questions. In the most recent one, the question was asked, will you ever add a Battle Royale mode? Now, I couldn't find the translated version of this reply, so I'm just going to leave it muted, but he essentially says they have no current plans to add a Battle Royale mode. Now that can be taken two different ways. It can be taken in that they're not going to add one, or right now they have no plans to add one, so they could add one in the future. So we've got no idea really. They might consider it, they might not. There's no definitive answer here. But what I want to discuss today, guys, is what would be the positives of adding one, what would be the negatives of adding one, and what your thoughts are down in the comments again, guys, if you think it would be a good idea or not. So we're going to start with the positive things now. I think good news before bad news is the best way to go. We'll start with the positive and then we'll get into the negative. So let's give it a go, shall we? So, number one, guys, positive of Battle Royale. Obviously, Battle Royale is a very popular game mode on mostly every game. It's very competitive, last man standing sort of thing, and it would add, the new game mode to the game. We would have Warfare, Operations, and Battle Royale, and it would give more diverse sort of gameplay options of what you want to do. And I do think like the operators in Delta Force would suit Battle Royale. You've got different diverse styles of gameplay. You've got stealthy characters like I use on Operations. You've got aggressive characters that I use on Warfare. For example, D-Wolf's sprint ability that lets you run like further using less stamina, or run faster, or even regenerate health while you take hits while you're under this sort of buff. And as I play Warfare Operations, I do sometimes think to myself some of these maps would suit Battle Royale. Obviously on Operations it's a bit more similar to that experience where you need to extract, you kill other players and that's them out of the game sort of thing. Obviously Warfare, people respawn, but one life sort of thing adds to the thrill of it. But obviously at the end of Battle Royale you don't keep anything. That's why Extraction, I find, is a lot more interesting than Battle Royale, because there's more at stake. You can lose your gear. You don't necessarily spawn into a match, find a gun, find ammo and stuff like that. You have to actually bring it in with you. I mean, you can do that, of course, but it's a bit harder to do that. You have to bring it in with you, and if you die, you've lost it all, and you have to re-kit again. So there is that. But Battle Royale would open up more options of gameplay, more options of strategy, better ways to survive. And I think if they're on the same maps of the extraction mode, it would sort of coincide with each other, and you would find strategies or places to sort of sit and stuff like that on the extraction maps that you otherwise wouldn't probably see because you're too busy looting or something like that. So it would give a different experience to the game. However, guys, this is going to be a very short section because I actually think there's more cons to Battle Royale than there is positives. So we're going to get into the things that I think would actually suck about Battle Royale on Delta Force right now. So let's just start with the most obvious one that I think hits the nail on the head of why we don't want Battle Royale on Delta Force, which is it'll split the player base up even more so. Currently, we've got people playing Warfare, and we've got usually 2 different modes of Warfare open at one time. So you'll have, obviously, Attack and Defend and Conquest, and then you'll have one weekly event, so it'll be like King of the Hill or the tank mode or something like that. And this splits up the player base. Then, of course, you've got Extraction, you've got Zero Dam, you've got Bialy, you've got Brackish, you've got Space City, you've got a new map coming as well. These have normal modes, easy modes, hard modes. So people are already sort of widespread across everything that's on the game right now. Now, you throw in a Battle Royale mode, you're not going to have one map, or you might at first. It'll eventually turn into 2 maps, 3 maps. You might have it on Zero Dam, Brackish, or even Bialy, or Space City would be a good one, for instance. This will split the player base massively. There'll be the queue times will increase. Bot players will be added to subsidise lack of player base playing all at once, or you would get people that just play one mode all the time. I mean, some people just play Warfare, some people just play Extraction. Battle Royale would bring all the Battle Royale players over, and that's all they would play, you know, from different games like Warzone and stuff that just have a Battle Royale but not the best experience on the planet. So that's the main thing for me, I think, would suck. It would split the player base immensely to a point where, like I say, the queue times would be massive. Bot players would have to be added to sort of level out the playing field of how many people are in the game at any one time. And it would just ruin the experience of all 3 modes in general. At least that's what I think. Anyway, guys, next thing. It would cause a further need for weapon balancing, and by that I mean because, like on a Battle Royale mode, for example, unless you've got a loadout that you've custom made, maybe it's an airdrop drops on the map, you get your loadout, you're going to have weapons that have different attachments on, different sort of rarities, and they can be floor loot or they can be found in a crate or whatever, but they're just going to be different to the Warfare experience, different to the Extraction experience, depending on what attachments are on them, and you're going to have to balance them out. You're going to have to balance the operators, and I think this will have an adverse effect on the other 2 modes, because balancing on one usually means balancing on the other, and people will just be complaining all the time, you know, this is too overpowered, this shouldn't be there, this operator should get nerfed, and it'll start brushing off on the other modes. Like people who play, for instance, Hack Claw, like I play in operations with the hack and the blinding thing, would be very useful in a Battle Royale experience, blinding people and, you know, pushing people and stuff. Then people would say she needs nerfed, and then they would start to realise that maybe she needs nerfed in Warfare, and maybe she needs nerfed in operations. It'll just escalate and escalate and escalate from there, in my opinion. And I just think that, like I say, 3 different modes, 3 different player styles, 3 different weapon sort of customizations will absolutely make everything ridiculously broken and unfair for a lot of people. A lot of people will complain. Now, the last point I want to touch on in regards to Battle Royale is oversaturated. Every single game coming out recently has got a Battle Royale mode. They all try and do it in different ways. How would they do it? Would they have a shrinking zone? Would they have sectors disappearing at different times? Will it be smaller maps? You know, how are they going to implement it to be unique and not just another Battle Royale game that's the same as Call of Duty or the same as Battlefield? Well, I suppose Battlefield doesn't really have one. But how they're going to make it unique to Delta Force without just making it a copy-paste of another game, but with Delta Force mechanics. And I don't think there's a realistic way to do that. And it would just be boring. It would be boring like a lot of other Battle Royales where it's just the same old, same old. You run away from the zone, you're the last one standing, everyone just camps. And I just don't think it'll be a very good experience. Extraction and Warfare is enough for the game right now. Now, guys, in conclusion, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think Delta Force needs a Battle Royale mode? Do you think anyone actually wants one? Or do you think there's just a minority of Warzone players or PUBG players that come to the game, they find Extraction too hard, they find Warfare a bit ridiculous, and they want that old game experience on a new game? Is that all that's happening here, or is this something deeper where the entire community wants Battle Royale? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments, so please do comment. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I personally think if they're going to add Battle Royale, if they announced it, I hope it's in about 2 or 3 years' time when all the sort of devoted players to the game have been established. We've got loads of new content and everyone sort of knows what they're doing. And maybe it's getting a bit stale by that point, you know, after a couple of years. And maybe the new game mode would actually help. But I think right now, when it's fresh, it's not even out on mobile yet, you know what I mean? It's only just released a couple of weeks ago. I don't think they need to be adding new modes. But maybe that's just me, I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. And hopefully I'll see you very soon in the next one. Catch you then.